We are going to talk about Indiana Jones and the Destiny of Disaster. Can I just say something about this title, The Dial of Destiny? Tell me if that's not the dumbest title for a movie you've ever heard. Could they come up with a title that's like catchy? The Dial of Destiny. It just sounds boring. I picture like an old rotary phone, like an old rotary phone. And I'm like, and then Destiny. Like, tell me that's not the most overused word in titles ever. Captain's Log. Previously on the Captain's Cast live stream, live every Thursday and Sunday with me, Captain Garrett. Do you know what the Dial of Destiny refers to? I found this out when doing my research for the stack of stuff. It means the Archimedes dial, right? Now that sounds pretty interesting. Why didn't they just title it Indiana Jones and the Archimedes dial? You know why? Because they think that their audience are too stupid to be able to pronounce Archimedes. That's why they were like, you know what? No, we got a lot of really dumb bigots in our audience, and they're not going to be able to read Archimedes in the title, so it's got to be Dial of Destiny. They get Indiana Jones and the Dial of Archimedes. That sounds pretty good. Come on, folks, we're workshopping this live on the Captain's Cast. We got to come up with a better title for this piece of crap. What about the Wheel of Archimedes? Does the chat have any thoughts? Oh, Footman Blue says Destiny's Compass. So what about the Compass of Archimedes? Indiana Jones and the Archimedes Compass. Indiana Jones and the Compass of Archimedes. Well, look, it's better than Dial of Destiny. I'll just say that much. Star Fury says change of name, same as the title of the first Harry Potter book for America. Yeah, see, now that's really dumb too. Like, I was always confused by this because every time I would see the title of the book, it was always the Philosopher's Stone. And, the Philosopher's Stone is a historical, if I recall, it's actually a real historical thing. And they changed it to the Sorcerer's Stone. We Americans, like, our media really does think we're the dumbest people on earth. I mean this quite seriously. They think we're really dumb people. Like, they do. They think that Americans are dumb. Americans are nothing but hayseed hicks. And I don't know what, I ain't got no time for no philosopher. Now, if you tell me that it's a sorcerer, I can maybe see a ways I could go watch it. I could maybe. But if you tell me it's some philosophizing SOB, hell no. I'm going to drink me some Bud Light, because I saw that there was a country music singer in there this week, and it ain't that weirdo Dylan no more. So now it's all better, and I'm going to keep drinking it. And Trump 2024. I'm not even exaggerating. That's literally what the American media thinks of the American people. I swear to God. So, like, they can't name anything like they can't name anything too intellectual because they're like, no. This crowd won't get it. They're too stupid for that. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This from IGN. Want to see what they scored it? This is the IGN score. Oof. A 4. Bad. Miss it, man. Boy, has Disney stepped in it this time. Oh, Disney, you've stepped on another rake. Like, bam, right in the face. They decided, this was Disney's grand plan, right? This proves to me that they really are, like, incompetent people. Kathleen Kennedy, she's absolutely an idiot. Because she thinks she's just shitting out golden nuggets. She really does. She thinks she's the golden goose. She's like, I'm laying golden eggs, people. I don't know what you're complaining about. Everything's good. I got Ray Skywalker on tap. Are you out of your mind? This company's great. And she's like, oh, you know what? We'll do this. I'm not saying this is exactly her strategy, but it's her and her circle. This is their strategy. They're like, we're going to promote this at the Cannes Film Festival. And we're going to get a lot of early buzz. We got to head off the next disaster because they think this is like Bob Iger. He's like, oh, well, our marketing budget is not optimized for the best performance. It's like they think their marketing is the problem. Like, no, your shit, garbage, woke, identity, politics infused propaganda storytelling is your problem. Jeff fucking Loveness is your problem. Okay. This soy infused, well, Folks, it was pretty hard that day when they said that Quantum Mania was no good. That movie had no plot. It had no discernible plot. It was stupid. Like, there was nothing in it. They're like, market hard. We're going to market hard this time. We're going to get out on that field and we're going to market for a month in advance. And so what have they done? They've given us all a chance to see what this movie really is before we see it. They should have tried to hide it. They should have tried to hide it. But alas, they just couldn't help themselves. But surely, the news is better on Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, if we're lucky, Rotten Tomatoes has not even found out about it yet. And I'm sure... Oh, no. Is that a 50% with 30 reviews in? Just be grateful there's no audience score. Just be grateful. Kathleen. Shall we select a sampling? It's all pretty goofy and laborious over its 142-minute running time. Great. This means that I'm going to want to leave the theater within like 40 minutes, and I'm going to be stuck in there for another freaking hour plus. A film that inherits the directing mantle. They should have said directorial. That would have been a better phrase. A film that inherits the directorial mantle from Steven Spielberg should know when to step up. It's about time executives realize that franchises can't be cleanly separated from the visions and talents of those who made them. Wow, this from Rory Dougherty of Flicks. That's a pretty good take, I have to say. I really despise the shill media or the mainstream media. It's just the approved intellectual class, the intelligentsia of film critique. They're so phony. But this is actually a pretty decent take, though. Because he's basically saying, look, we gotta, idiots, this kill the past thing is not working, which would have been a better way to say it, which is why screw the mainstream media. They're boring. They're so boring. The camera rarely creates meaning on its own, except when there's a familiar brown fedora somewhere on screen, at which point it charges toward it like a happy pup reuniting with its owner. A shot that repeats on at least 4 separate occasions. I don't doubt it. You know what that's called? Member berries, nostalgia bait, manipulating your audience. There are needs being met here, but they aren't storytelling based so much as stoking the fan base and meeting the bottom line ones. Oh, that's a nice one, David Fear from Rolling Stone. Oh, that's predictable. He's blaming the fans for this thing being garbage. Did you notice that? Look at that. They make a piece of trash that no self-respecting Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark fan would ever want to see. And whose fault is it? Those fans. Because, well, don't you know? They're just they're not even telling a story. They just want to please the Toxic Man Baby fans who miss Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, screw them. Ew, gross. There are so many chase sequences. Oh, see, this is really when I know I'm going to suffer in this movie when I hear this. There are so many chase sequences that the movie seems held together with slender bits of plot rather than the other way around. Worse yet, they're so heavily CGI'd. Oh, God, kill me now. I can't even. Oh, I'm going to hate this movie. I could tell. Oh, I'm going to hate it so much. That they're so heavily CGI'd that they come off as grimly dutiful rather than thrilling or delightful. That's all I would need to hear to never see this movie. That one take is all I need. I don't want to see this movie. It's going to be like Quantum Mania. It's going to be like The Mandalorian with the big dumb crocodile fight. Nothing happening, just soaking up blaster shots for no reason. Oh, it's going to be awful. Oh, but I will see it for you. I will see it. The de-aging and other CGI manipulations of Ford's body, that's a weirdly clinical way to put it, only serve to demonstrate that Dial of Destiny just wants to, oh, this is clever, turn back the clock instead of doing anything new. That's a shitty writer. It's a sad and safe ending for a series that once prided itself on big escapades and larger-than-life emotions. Dial of Destiny shows the boring. It's an improvement on the execrable Crystal Skull, but James Mangold's exhumation of the Spielberg adventure serial is both tame and unnecessary. Captain will allow it. The jokes, the zest, and the exuberance just aren't there. So instead of a joyous send-off for our beloved hero, we get a depressing reminder of how much livelier his past adventures were. This is a big, bombastic movie that goes through the motions, but never finds much joy in the process, despite John Williams' hard-working score continuously pushing our nostalgia buttons and trying to convince us that we're on a wild ride. Oh, God, it's going to be such a grind. It's going to be just bloated, stupid action scenes with no dramatic tension, no reason, all CGI, green screen volume. Ugh, I could puke. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a dutifully eager, but ultimately rather joyless piece of nostalgic hokum. You know, what I find interesting, this is why I have no use for the mainstream critics anymore. I used to love reading critics' reviews. I hate it now because it's like what you're trying to say, but you're not quite getting there while thinking you're the smartest people on earth, is that dutifully eager. See, this is what you're missing. It isn't dutiful. But if they were dutiful, it would mean they were trying. It would mean that their heart was in the right place. It's not. They don't like Indiana Jones. They don't like Raiders of the Lost Ark. It conflicts with their sick worldview in which all masculinity is evil and women are not allowed to be feminine or to enjoy the company of men or to ever be partners of men ever. This is their sick ideology does not allow them to enjoy what came before. So there's nothing dutiful about this. They're not dutiful. They have contempt. Kathleen Kennedy and the makers of this shit, they have contempt for the fan base. They have contempt for the legacy of Indiana Jones. They would love it. They would love it if they didn't even have to have Harrison Ford for this. They would love it if they could just write him out of it, but they can't. Just fuck off, Owen Gleibman from Variety. You're behind the times, sir. You're behind the times. Richard Lawson, let's give Richard Lawson a chance, shall we? From Vanity Fair. Can he do better? One can feel the 4 credited screenwriters grasping at inspiration and coming up short. What they did manage to make would be perfectly fine as a standalone adventure film starring some other character, but it's not worthy of the whip. Well, that's what they want, sir. You're also behind the times. They want it to be another character. She's named Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Whatever she is. Fleabag. Was she in Fleabag or was she in that other show people are always twisting my arm to watch? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I can't be bothered to look it up. Don't care. Kevin Marr. The captain will give him a shot. The good news is that it's not as poor as Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The bad news is it's not much better. Walk the plank. David Elric. Yesterday, quote, yesterday belongs to us, someone says at one point. And when it comes to Indiana Jones, yesterday always will. The problem is that it already did. And today feels like a complete waste of time. Well, Mr. Elric, sir of IndieWire, Captain, salute to you. That is a good take. Robbie Collin. It ultimately feels like a counterfeit of priceless treasure. The shape and the gleam of it might be superficially convincing for a bit, but the shabbier craftsmanship gets all the more glaring the longer you look. That gets a captain's salute. And that, by the way, describes everything that we have seen in the last 6-7 years. That is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That is Disney Star Wars. That is The Mandalorian to a T. They cannot create anything new. They can only steal the golden glitter of things that were made by better filmmakers and better directors, better writers, better actors. And do you know why? People having to make the case and work within limitations and overcome setbacks and roadblocks. And then, only then, when people come to see it and pay their hard-earned money, only then can they call it a success. That is creation. And in a world where you are not required to prove your merit for anything, there's no reason to create treasure. All you can do is steal. The mission will continue on the Captain's Cast live stream with me, Captain Garrett, on the Swords and Starships channel live every Thursday and Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it, and I will see you in the chat out there. Make sure to give me a follow on Locals at swordsandstarships.locals.com. It's free to follow and direct message me on Locals, and this will help defend against YouTube censorship and allow me to maintain a direct connection with you. The mission of this channel is to build a fellowship of sci-fi, fantasy, and action-adventure fans who prize freedom of speech and artistic expression above all. And if you choose to support the channel with a paid membership, there will be even more exclusive content in store, and I would certainly be honored to earn your support. Until then, hail to you, hail to the Fellowship, and hail to the Iron Age of entertainment.